guys, so you seemed a little confused about active and passive voice, so I wanted to give you, some more practice with it the past couple days, and then talk a little bit more in depth about when to use it and when not to use it, okay? So first thing, we had just practiced, how to change passive voice to active voice, okay? So that's all your practice was that you needed to do before you watch this video. If you have not done that practice yet, you need to pause and complete it and then come back to the video. Okay? Now, hopefully you've completed that practice. So let's go through and talk about how we could have changed each of these sentences to active. Okay? So those trees were stripped last month. Okay, so here they didn't say who did it. Okay, but I told you just no matter what, change it all to passive. Okay, so I'm going to say the winds stripped the trees last month. Okay, so if I didn't have a subject there, but I want to change it to passive, I can just add a subject. Okay, but here the subject is actually performing the action. The trees did not strip themselves. Okay, all right, the computers were shipped early in September, so the computers are not shipping themselves, so we need to add a doer, add a subject. Okay, so the company shipped the computers in September. Okay. All right, the letter was written by my brother. Here we do have a doer in there, but they're not the subject of the sentence, so we need to change that. So my brother wrote the letter. Okay. The old car was driven by my brother. So again, we have a doer listed in the sentence, but they're not the subject. So we need to change it so the subject is the doer, is the one performing the action. So my brother drove the old car. Okay, the school bell was repaired in September. Like I said, you're making it passive here, no matter what. Okay, so I'm going to say the principal repaired the school bell in September. Doesn't matter what subject you chose as long as you made it so the subject of the sentence was actually performing the action. Okay, so the man has been stabbed. Presumably the man did not stab himself, so I need to add a doer, add a subject that's actually performing this action. So let's say the murderer stabbed the man. Okay, my shoes were taken to the shoemaker. Right, easy way to redo this. Presumably you took your shoes to the shoemaker, so I took my shoes to the shoemaker. Okay, the trees were uprooted by the storm. Here we have the doer listed in the sentence. It's just not the subject. The storm uprooted the trees. Okay, the bookcase was stained a dark walnut. Here I needed to add a doer to become my subject, so I stained the bookcase a dark walnut. All right, the flowers were planted in March. Let's say I planted the flowers in March. So just to kind of simplify it here, I just told you no matter what, make them passive. If you need to add a subject, no matter what, make it active. If you need to add a subject, just make it active. Okay? So most of the time, that's what you want to do. Okay? Active voice makes our writing more interesting and more clear. Okay? However, there are times when it is appropriate to use passive voice, and we talked about one of these before, but I want to kind of lump them all together right now. Okay? So if we don't know who is performing the action, for example, my purse was stolen. We don't know who stole the purse. Okay? So imagine you just turned around in a restaurant and someone stole the purse. Okay, so we don't know who it is. Now, you could still reword this as active, right? You could say the thief stole the purse. All right, but so you don't know who stole it, it is okay to say my purse was stolen. All right? When the noun performing the action is not important. So say you're going to take the SAT and you say something like the test was administered. The person who administered the test isn't really important here. It's the test that's important. Okay? So that's a situation where it's okay to use passive voice. When it's obvious who performed the action, so there's only one person who could have done it, she was fired. She can only be fired by her boss. Okay. Also, the nuclear bomb was dropped. Okay. Or was ordered to be dropped, right? Only one person who can do that. So situations like that, where the subject is kind of implied, it's okay. All right, but again, most of the time, when in doubt, just go back to active voice. It makes our writing more interesting and clear. Okay? All right, so 3 situations where it's okay, but if you just want to make it active just to be safe, that's always okay too.